Some people are saying that WWE has purposely set the women up to fail at the Evolution 2 PLE next Sunday. Now, I wouldn't go that far, but I will say that the treatment of this PLE is borderline disrespectful, and whether on purpose or on accident, I think that Evolution 2, well, it is destined to failure, and it's not because of the women, it's because of how WWE has gone about the treatment of this PLE. And I want to state for the record that I want this PLE to succeed. I support Evolution 2. We will stream it. We will do hot takes. We'll treat it like any other PLE. But my fear is that it's going to fail. Let's talk. I got five ways that WWE has dropped the ball on this PLE, dooming it. I know, doom and gloom. I tried to be positive, but I want to get ahead of the narrative here because, like, for real, let's look at how WWE has disrespected the women's division. Whether by design or on accident, disrespect is disrespect. Number one is the fact that we have, for the first time in history, I'm talking since the creation of man, we have a women's mid-card title, the US title, in existence, and it's not being represented on this PLE. Why not? Shouldn't we celebrate the fact that we have such a diverse roster that we can have a women's US title? And, like, I know, and there's also an Intercontinental title, but I do feel that that is going to be added to the card, so we'll talk about that later. But in no way, shape, or form do I think that Julia is going to get a placement on the card with the US title. That's insane to me. That's insane. We should be celebrating. Look at how strong this division is, that it can have mid-card titles, and yet the first year that this is in existence, it's not even going to be on the PLE. It was just defended like 2 or 3 weeks ago on SmackDown. They could have not done it there. They could have straight up not done it there. It wasn't even on the Night of Champions. It was on the night before the Night of Champions. So if you were just trying to have a title match, like, it fell short. You didn't need to have it then. You could have just, like, waited, 4 weeks for Zelina Vega to drop the title to Julia then at an all-women's PLE. Like, that would have made sense. And then we could have built up that feud as well, and it could have been something that we were interested in. We could have had a 6-week build, but if WWE won't book the US title, Wrestlechop will. I'm going to give this belt away to a lucky viewer out there, a lucky subscriber. How do you win? Well, first, I got to hit 20,000 subscribers. Once I hit 20,000 subscribers, I'll give away this belt. I'll pick a random comment from a random video, and how will I pick them, though? What? Random comment. So, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, ding, 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 notification. I would greatly appreciate it, and so would the thumb. Do you appreciate it, thumb? I greatly appreciate it. Oh, I appreciate it so much. I appreciate it so much, Chop. All right, calm down. Sometimes I never know with him. Sometimes he's so loving sometimes. Oh, just like the old days. Anyways, that's how you win this belt, and I'm trying to quit the day job, so help me out and you can win this belt. Not a replica. I always forget that there's a point on this, and it hurts so much when I do that. All right. So here's another way that the women's division's been disrespected, and it's location. Location is so important that you have to say it 3 times. Here's the deal. Why? What do you mean by this? Like, okay, so we're going out of the world of kayfabe into the real world, in that this PLE was originally supposed to happen July 5th. July 5th, it was supposed to happen in, like, I think Connecticut. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, so Connecticut would have got its own singular PLE event, and so a lot of people would have been like, oh cool, WWE's in town, let's go to that. But no, what they did was they changed it. They changed it from July 5th to July 13th, one day after Saturday Night's Main Event and one day after the Great American Bash. So now Evolution has to compete with WWE for ticket sales. Now when families are like, hey, you know what, WWE's in town, we should go to an event. Oh, look, we've got 3 separate WWE events. Let me tell you something. NXT And Monday Night Raw, they're coming to Houston. I live in Houston. I thought to myself, oh, cool. I should take my kids. I got 2 kids. I should take my kids to go see a WWE event. That'd be super cool. And maybe I can get them to really like the product. I looked up prices. I can't even afford for myself to go. All right. I can't even afford myself to go, let alone my children. So now that said, I'm applying this logic, my own budget, to the people in Georgia's budget. They're not going to be able to go to all 3 or even 2, NXT, Saturday Night's Main Event, Evolution. So most people are probably going to hit up, which one? Saturday Night's Main Event. Maybe if they can afford it, they'll do NXT because it's cheaper. See that? NXT is going to be the cheapest, and Saturday's Main Event is going to be the most prominent. That's where you got Goldberg. Oh, Goldberg, his last match. You got Seth Rollins, LA Knight, yeah. Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre. Like a lot of cool, really big storyline matches, right? A lot of stories in these matchups. And so now people have to choose. People have to choose which one they want to go to. If they had kept Evolution on July 5th in Connecticut, there'd only be one show in town and everybody would have gone to it. Oh, but that venue, it was double booked. Then book it somewhere else on July 5th. Or don't book it at all. So there's so many reasons why this location, the location is so important and has like really did a devastating blow to the tickets, to the ticket sales, the attendance. And not only that, but on Sunday, the 13th, which is the day of Evolution, Beyonce, you have the singer, you know, she's holding a concert. She's holding a concert across town. So, would it be out of the realm of like possibility that an all-women's PLE celebrating women's wrestling, that some Beyonce attendees would want to go to that, but they can't now because they'd rather go to Beyonce. I don't know. I'm throwing that out there, but I will say this: traffic's gonna be a mess. Traffic is gonna be a mess. Beyonce concerts, while she's not necessarily my cup of tea, her music, I will say I know that she's very popular, and I know that traffic is gonna be crazy. And so now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm 45 years old. If I have to drive around the block more than 2 times to find a parking spot, I'm going home. You got that to look forward to, kiddos. I'm just an old man yelling at a cloud. Parallel park, no thank you. I'm going home to watch this. And so, yes, so many things are going up against this women's PLE because of its location. And at the end of the day, it's going to be like, oh, well, see, nobody wants to attend an all-women PLE. You know, it's like, no, they have to choose. They have to choose between which wrestling show they want to go to. You can only afford so much. Number 3 is a very little one, very minuscule, but I think could have like really added some personality to this PLE. And the fact is, they should have given Natalya a really good storyline. Natalya has been a part of the WWE, I believe, on the roster since like 2008. All right, she has more tenure than most of the WWE wrestlers on staff right now, and I think we should have given her a really cool storyline. Like, you know, there is a battle royal, right? There is a battle royal going on. I get it; she's not the most popular, like on camera or with the audience. So I'm not saying like give her a marquee match even, but I'm saying give her a storyline of this like veteran, right? This veteran who she doesn't think that she can do it. She doesn't know if she'll ever reach the mountaintop again, and maybe Maxine Dupree talks her into it, like, no, Natty, you can do it. We got one more shot in us, and let's focus on that battle royal. Because the Battle Royal doesn't have any kind of storyline going into it. And we're going to talk storyline. That's point number 5. There's no storyline going into this Battle Royal. And Natalya could have been that storyline. It could have been this grizzled vet who like sees this as her last opportunity, her last chance at glory. And that could have just been the storyline. Natalya deserves it. I don't know of a wrestler who loves wrestling more than Natalya. I think like Natalya and R-Truth, when it comes to respect in the back, are like right up there neck and neck. Natalya has done so much, sacrificed so much. She's done everything you've asked her. For crying out loud, she had a farting gimmick.
No, Eve. That stinks.
Literally, she farted all right? That's what she was willing to do for the company. And can't believe I'm bringing that up. And, like, so much. There's just so much she's done. And I just, like, she's been on Total Divas. She does all your press. She trains all the women. Like, she is just an all-timer. And I think giving her a storyline, figuring out a storyline for her would have been just amazing, and my suggestion was just, this grizzled vet going for her last chance into the Battle Royal. I don't even say that she wins the Battle Royal. Make sure, Final Four or something. That way, when she is eliminated, it's like, oh my God, oh no, and have a heel do it. Have some heel do it, and that can lead off into a program. God forbid something happens in a pay-per-view, PLE, and that leads to a storyline. I feel, though, that it would have just been nice. It would have been nice. A nice gesture from a very corporate company to extend, a storyline to such a person who has bled sweat for this company. Fourth is the weekend itself. This weekend has been designed by WWE to literally exist only to counter-program its arch-rival, AEW. AEW is holding its WrestleMania. It's called All In, all right? And whether you like AEW or you hate AEW, doesn't matter. The fact is, WWE is holding 3 wrestling events opposite of AEW just to make sure that it's not a success. Now, if you want to be like, oh, that's brilliant for capitalism, that's so great that they're trying to demolish, that's what businesses do, this is the free market, whatever, go for it. You can do that all you want. But my point here is that Evolution 2 is being put in a spot to compete against just so much wrestling. You better believe that if I had a choice between watching the Evolution and that has no storylines or very little storylines, we'll talk storylines in a minute, or the WrestleMania of AEW that all stories lead into for the year, then you're going to watch AEW, right? Oh, but Chop, All In is on Saturday. It's Saturday's main event that is going head to head with it. I mean, relax, hang on for a second. So let's say you choose to watch All In on Saturday, or you choose to watch Saturday's main event on Saturday, whichever the case may be, and then on the next day, on Sunday, you choose to watch the other because we can stream it. We watch Saturday night's main event, or we watch All In. One of the two. You watch one of those on Sunday. And then what happens? Well, now comes another PLE at night, and you're just tired. There was a Great American Bash Saturday morning, then All In WrestleMania, or Saturday's main event, and then the next day you watch the one that you didn't watch yesterday. And now you're just tired. You're just fatigued. You're just like, oh my gosh, another PLE? Not to mention, Friday had SmackDown and tomorrow has Raw. And NXT, actually. So it's like, come on. Like, I love wrestling, but even I would be like, woo, that's a lot. Maybe I'll just get the highlights because there's really no storyline in Evolution. I don't feel like nothing's really compelling me to watch Evolution because there's no storylines. And I just think that it's, we'll talk about that in a second, but I just think that's so wrong that WWE has done this. TKO is going to be like, what? They didn't sell out? What are you talking about? Numbers. Could we have put more ads on the rings? Why didn't Evolution 2 work? And so, I'm anticipating this, reaction. And I'm just trying to get ahead of it. All right, so now we're on number 5. The final thing, which is the most criminal thing, is that they've given us a PLE with no stories, no heat, no real reason for me to care about anything. Why should I care about IYO and Rhea Ripley? Yes, it's going to be a great match, but honestly, I watch WWE not just for the matches. I love the great matches, but it's the storylines, it's the characters that mean something to me, and IYO picking Rhea makes no sense. It really doesn't. I'm not trying to be a Rhea Hogan person here, but like, why would she pick her? IYO has beaten Rhea like 6 times. That's the story, right? So like, she has nothing to prove. Why isn't there some kind of big confrontation here? Why does Rhea even get a shot, being that she didn't even qualify for Queen of the Ring? You know what I mean? Why is Trish getting a spot when Jade Cargill fought so hard to become Queen of the Ring? Now, I've already spoken on how I don't feel that it's okay for Trish to get a title shot because she hasn't been present lately. Don't get me wrong. I love Trish Stratus. I'm not saying she doesn't deserve it as a whole, but right this second, I don't think she does. But you go watch my other videos for that. Some people just are like, oh, you hate Trish. I don't hate Trish, guys. Like, do you not even listen to what I say sometimes? But again, we got the 2 top titles face versus face. No heat whatsoever. The only heat going on right now is between Jade and Naomi, right? And that's cool, that's great, but that heat is actually from before WrestleMania. So they did not write this story for this PLE. They wrote it for WrestleMania. They're just making good on what they already had, which is okay, but still, like, what about the other stuff? The tag team matches, they still don't even have the tag teams set up. Therefore, there can be no heat. There can be no heat. I do understand that Liv Morgan got injured, and that threw everything into flux. But that said, you pivot. WWE loved to say the word pivot during WrestleMania 40 time, so why haven't they pivoted harder for this PLE? And if that's going to be the case, if you want to use Liv Morgan, her injury, which sucks, and I hate that she got injured. If you want to use that as your reasoning, well, that's the reason this PLE is going to suck, well, then WWE shouldn't hold a sucky PLE. If WWE knows it's going to suck because of real-world affairs, then you just cancel it. If Coca-Cola produced a product and they knew it sucked, they wouldn't release it to market. So that's what I'm saying there. The tag team division, no heat. There is an NXT match, Jade, I think it is. Is it her name, Jancy Jade? That's NXT. NXT, they actually know how to book things. Though, like, even that, I feel like there was no reason to call up Stephanie Fakir, and they should have had Stephanie lose it to Jordynne Grace here, but that's neither here nor there. I do feel they're going to add the Intercontinental belt. I do feel they're going to add that. Probably on Monday. That will have heat. At least that matchup right there, they are doing that perfect. Becky, Lyra, and Bayley, that storyline is a great storyline and will do well on this PLE. Now, if they put it on Saturday's main event, then that will be complete trash. It needs to be here because it is one of the few. It'll be one of only 2 matches with actual heat with Naomi and Jade Cargill. And let's see, the Battle Royal has 0 storyline. 0 storyline. Oh, well, they win a championship match. Okay, but have a storyline still. Have a storyline. So why can't we have any kind of like dynamic going into this match? And that's it. That will be 7 matches. You could say there is a little bit of a story between Alexa Bliss and Charlotte, which is cool. And guess what? I actually care about them because they've given them some airtime. Okay, so you know what? I complained. Let me book it then. We're going to keep the stipulation. For some reason, the champs get to pick, right? The champs get to pick who they want. And we'll do this. We'll have IYO SKY. She is going to actually pick Asuka. She'll pick Asuka, right? But Asuka will say no. Asuka will say no. She's like, I don't deserve it. And Asuka's going to go by some kind of like code of honor. And she's like, I do not deserve it. And I'll enter in the Battle Royal and reclaim my honor as a warrior. So then Rhea Ripley just like boots IYO in the face and say, yeah, I knew you wouldn't challenge me because you're afraid of me. You know that I've got your number. I will have your number finally. And boom. I'm not saying turn Rhea like heel, even though I would love that. I'm saying make her into this like she's willing to fight heels and faces. She's willing to fight both. And now we have some heat right there. And IYO says, fine, I will pick you. There, boom. Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill comes out of Queen of the Ring and she says, you know what? I'm not waiting till SummerSlam. The storm is here now. We are in the eye of the storm. I want my championship at Evolution. They've done this before. John Cena won the Royal Rumble and challenged at the event before WrestleMania. And so that's the precedent here. And she says, what better place to crown myself champion than an all-women's PLE. And Tiffany's like, all right, game on, game on. Trish is going to enter into the Battle Royal. Natalya, remember that story I told you before? That's going to happen also. Natalya is going to enter into the Battle Royal. And let's back it up just a little. There is an NXT match tonight on this PLE. It's Jacy Jayde versus Jordynne Grace. Now, if we could somehow redo it, I would have loved for Stephanie Fakir to have actually held onto that title and lost it here. She hasn't really done anything on the main roster other than been in Money in the Bank. So if we could rewind it, Stephanie would lose the title here. Jordynne Grace could get her moment on a big stage from a very, very worthy competitor. And then Stephanie Fakir would actually then go on into the Battle Royal itself and enter there. But let's just say, you know what, HBK, we trust HBK. He knows what he's doing, so we'll just leave it. Jordynne Grace versus Jacy Jayde. It doesn't matter. Jordynne Grace is going to win. Okay, so now we go to the Battle Royal itself. All the women are going to be in here, but it's the final four that matter. It's going to be Asuka, Natalya, Stephanie Fakir, and Trish Stratus. We want to give Trish Stratus a big spotlight, right? We already took her spotlight away from the Tiffany and Jade Cargill match, so this is where she will be spotlit. The final four will happen like this. Asuka is going to take out Natalya, and Natalya is going to be so heartbroken because of that story I told you about earlier. Asuka's going to feel, she's actually going to feel regret, and in that moment of weakness, Stephanie Fakir is going to eliminate her. This will set Asuka on a path of just realizing she can't have friends anymore if she's going to want to succeed. And that will then be her new character moving forward. And now it's Stephanie Fakir versus Trish Stratus. And these two are going to have it's going to be like a match after a match. So the Battle Royal has happened, and we're still in the Battle Royal, but this is going to go on for about 10 minutes. 10 minutes of Trish and Stephanie just going at it, and this will be very reminiscent of HBK and Undertaker, and I think it was the Royal Rumble 2006, 7, or 8. I can't remember which one it was, but basically it was a great Royal Rumble, and then we had a mini match, and that's what we'll have right here. Stephanie and Trish in a mini match that will really give Trish the opportunity to just shine in this all-women's PLE, and Stephanie, whether she lost the NXT title or not, will go over here and win, and this will be kind of her coming out moment for the main roster. So now we then go to the tag team division. Literally all we do is this. We already have two teams announced, Roxanne and Roxy, and Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. I really there's kind of little stories going on right there, right? So we don't have a lot of time for stories, so Ava on NXT just says, we'll just do we're going to send a surprise. We're going to send a surprise. And then Adam Pearce is fine, we'll send a surprise too. And so then we have two surprise appearances on the Evolution PLE. The first then will be Lash Legend and Jakira Jackson. Jakira Jackson was released. She was part of the Metaphor, and we've reformed that tag team right here, and that'll be a nice little surprise. And we think that's the big surprise. I personally love Jakira Jackson, but big surprise right here. But then the next surprise, the Raw people are going to be the Bella Twins. We wanted the Bella Twins anyways, so they're your surprise Raw tag team. And boom, you have a little maybe not the greatest story, but you actually have some intrigue right here. I want Julia and Zelina Vega. They're going to have their match on this show. Like I said, the women's U.S. title needs to be defended here. Becky, Lyra, Bayley, triple threat, nothing changes. This is a perfect storyline for this PLE, and I think that's it. Oh, and Naomi, right? So Naomi's the one that loses a match, right? So because she was supposed to be Naomi versus Jade. Now Jade is fighting in the main event. So what happens to Naomi? She's just in the battle royal? No, Naomi uses it to further herself to get screen time. She's I don't need a match. I don't want a match. My next match is me cashing in this title. I'm going to put a chair down in both championship matches and just watch. And that's what she does. So the ever-looming presence of Naomi is over the PLE, and so she doesn't even have to have a match. And boom, now you've got yourself every single match on this card has some kind of story or finish or intrigue, and that's how you make Evolution 2 just better. Like, not hard. You could have actually did everything I just said in a matter of 2 weeks. If they had started this last Friday, this could have been done. This could have been done, with the exception of Jade would have had to announce her wanting the championship now. But regardless, you get what I'm saying. It's not hard to book these things. It's really not. Triple H, call me. Like, for real, I'll do this stuff for free. Like, I'll do this stuff for free. Or you can send me, like, a ticket to Raw. Send me 3 tickets to Raw so I can take my kids. Because I would love for my kids to love wrestling too, but you've priced us out where only I can love wrestling and my kids can just play Fortnite. Because, oh my gosh, oh man. I want this PLE to succeed. I want it to be a celebration of how far the women have come, but honestly, I think they're about to become the fall guy, the fall woman for just, oh, look at this. What a failure this weekend has been, and it's all because of Evolution, and I feel that's going to be unfair. Tell me in the comments below, do you agree or disagree with my thoughts? I would greatly appreciate it. Boys, girls, have yourselves a great day.